Hi guys, thought I could just give you a tour of my workshop. I see a lot of these videos on YouTube, so I thought I'd go and do it myself and join in. So as you can see, it's quite compact in here. Whole workshop is probably 11 by 10, which seems a lot. Once you've got all your equipment in here, it really isn't, believe me. We'll go through a few things in a moment, and I'll talk you through what sort of things I've got, what sort of repairs I do, and the things I'm looking to get to carry me forward. It's not a business, it's just a hobby. Quite excitable hobby, I must think, because I've always wanted my own workshop since I was about 15-16 years old. And guess what? Now I've got one. So it's my own little den. It's a quick tour, full circle of the old room. Blanked out windows, not anybody peeking in, do we? And various tools for doing work. Okay, so start here. Makita drill, Old Faithful, 18 volt. I think all your tools in a workshop like this have really got to be cordless as much as you possibly can. Smaller tools, electric screwdriver, quite handy, probably isn't used as much as it should be. Smaller drill driver, again I've got the Makita. Impact driver, these are for when things don't go according to plan. And my little sort of jigsaw, used for cutting aluminium, cutting fascia plates, as a rough cut, and then brought down my files after that. My junk shelf, yep, that is the motherboard that's used in the computer that I use in the workshop, using a FX8350 AMD core processor, 8 core, octa-core. Does the job rather well, especially with multimedia. Various boxes or items that are going to either be used or put into a skip. As we move down, various cables, saw, which I use quite a lot when I'm putting shelves up and things when they're in here. And this side here mainly is where all the heavy duty tools and operations go off. The obligatory hacksaw, tape measures, various, you can never find one when you want one, we all know that. And the fuse box that runs from the house. Now that has got a 6 amp circuit for lighting and a 16 amp MCB for breaking the sockets. There's quite a few sockets that fly around the workshop. It does come back on itself as a full ring. The RCD is supplied inside the house, but I do have separate RCD circuits actually inside the workshop itself when I'm operating stuff. As you can see, not ideal place for a vice, toolbox or a grinding lathe, but nonetheless there's no heavy duty work done in here, so this is quite okay for my use. Chromebook, wired up to that monitor. So used for researching, streaming YouTube and things when I'm doing work, just keep me a bit of company. Various test equipment, bench meter, haven't used for a long time. the go-to meter, DM05. Quite handy, well built, seems to do everything that I want it to do. Also a non-contact voltage indicator on it too, which is quite handy sometimes. Small screwdriver sets, glue, a DVD-ROM drive for when this bench has got laptops, computer repairs, etc, etc on it. Moving along, my parts drawer, screwdrivers, strippers, and more screwdrivers and pliers, etc. Now on my bench I do have a Variac, and as you can see, there he is. It is the Bunsen VC3000 heavy duty Variac. I use quite a lot for powering up equipment. There's the output from the Variac only, along with mains feed if needed from a safe block. Various items, HDMI splitter there for the TV. I only have one monitor over this side of the workshop, so it's handy to have multiple inputs, and as you can see through that box there, I switch from one to the next. It's quite easy. Current limiting supply at the moment, 100-watt bulb in it. Various tools that I use quite often, so they're clipped up, ready and available. Further up here, remember the previous videos, an SR10 amplifier which is sat underneath my monitor. It's full working order. Just for those that did watch the video, I did actually end up bypassing the on off switch, so it's switched on and off by the main supply down there. It's only a test amplifier, not powerful, does the job I need it to do, so there's no problems. Small power supply, liberated from the place that I worked. Must admit, not stolen, given. It's a switch mode power supply, 13.8 volts output, roughly probably about 2.53 amps supply, I thought. Used to be used on an old radio that we used between the vehicles. Further up here is the well, however you want to pronounce it, Yihua 1503D, which is lightweight supply. I use it generally for charging NiCads, lithiums, etc. It's okay for a small supply. You can power up little preamps with it. It's fantastic for that. For anything else, much more use, not really. It's very lightweight. Switch mode power supply, not linear, so it does cause a lot of noise, so we have to be careful with that. Further along, I'm sure you've all seen these, the little DSO oscilloscopes. Not often used, seems as I have that one, okay, but it's nice to use on small equipment and you ain't got to worry about isolation problems from the mains. Two little checkers for the power supplies on computers. Same again, as you can see, not often used. Usually the faults on computers are quite obvious, and I must admit, usually down to the user, not the actual item itself. This little item, fantastic device. If ever you get the chance to buy one, please do. It's a TC1, tests virtually every device that you want it to. Probably would have killed with that in the 80s. Handheld oscilloscope, again not very often used, mainly because of the one below it. Two power supplies. Now it's quite cheap on eBay, probably round about the £30 mark. I think I paid considerably less than that for one of them. I think I won it in an auction. Actually quite good for powering up equipment. It lets you limit the current, lets you adjust the voltage. It does the job, so I can't complain, there's no worries there. more meters, calipers, we all know what that stuff is, WD-40, and various items for when I'm doing my projects and soldering PCBs. Further down here, my hot station, the 858D. What do you want out of a hot station? Blow hot air. It does the job. It's not really what I would call a professional. Never had no problems with it. Automatically turns off when the device is put back on the stand. Don't worry about burning your shed down. Underneath here I have various soldering irons, and I know that you're all going to scream out it's a cheap and nasty, but I have had no problems with this item at all. It's a Yotech 967. Adjust the temperature, low voltage, decent enough tip on it. I have new tips, not an issue, can change them very quickly. Okay, on my bench here, signal generator, FG100 DDS function generator. Good, not bad at all. Bit of a pain in the backside to be changing the hertz and the cycles and different waveforms that you want to do, from sine to triangle to square, whatever. Find it's a very clean signal, but to keep punching the buttons all the time to get what you require to turn the device to run and stop before you put any numeric numbers into the hertz settings is a bit of a pain. I am actually at this moment in search of more of a potentiometer generated one where you can turn the frequency up and down as you would, instead of keep stopping the device, and it just helps you run more efficiently, I think. Down here, the USB charge current indicator unit, also handy. Very handy when you're charging items or seeing what kind of current or is being pulled out of a USB rail. Very handy indeed. Further down, or across, shall I say, anybody recognise that? That has been with me for a very long time. Electrolit 340, electrically conductive silver paint. Needed it quite a few times in the past. Found it. Now I don't seem to need it anymore. You know how it usually works. Socket there, double socket with an RCD protection, 30 milliamp on the device, just in case I'm a bit aware of anything else that I can plug it in. Just add the protection, no problem there. Like I said, there is one in the house. Further up, these are my component drawers, and as you can see, most of them at this moment in time are quite empty. Don't worry, they'll all be filled. All items that I use, or used should I say, on a project that I did recently for a DJ desk. Basically a computer motherboard, 3 hard drives, storage of music, 2 020 amplifiers in for the left and right channels, which was quite sufficient for what they needed. Unfortunately didn't have a camera at the time, didn't have no equipment to shoot me making the project. I'm sure at some time, because it is requiring upgrades and things to be done to it, you will see it in the workshop, you will see what I built, and you will hear it. So there's no issues there with that one. At the moment I'm struggling for content for YouTube because I've got nothing in the workshop to actually look at, review or anything else like that. I'm sure I'm getting all quite excited, not about looking at my component drawers. Various resistors are on the top. ICs, the ones that matter in anti-static bags, IC sockets, triacs, regulators, cotton buds, must have, various inductors, miscellaneous case screws, and a various selection of USB sticks. And those of you that repair computers or maintain computers will know that they're invaluable. Repair SWG, gauge, wire, extremely handy for repairing printed circuit boards when the traces have been blown or have been attacked by acid from a battery or anything like that really. Coin cell holders. I do a lot of work on older computers. Favourite, Commodore Amigas. I must have. Must not have an old battery in a Commodore Amiga at any stage. Can cause you a lot of problems. Okay. Mixed diodes. Shrink wrap. Definitely a must. Small tie wraps. Definitely a must. Various LEDs. Vichet diodes. Mini mics. LEDs mixed. Crocodile clips. Bridge rectifiers. Motor speed controls that I bought a long time ago, never used, probably never will, just like them. Electrolytic capacitors, mixed bags now, yes, mostly the capacitors are new. I am a believer in breaking down circuit boards to use components, mainly semiconductors I must admit, but there is times when if the electrolytic or polyester or mica or whatever capacitor is in reasonable condition, these can be pulled out of boards and they are a lifesaver when needed. Don't let anybody tell you different. If you're unsure, use the device to check, insert the old capacitor, see if it cures the problem. If it does, then get a new one and put a new one in. These are the drawers that I use just to my right hand side of the bench. This is the camera stand that normally this camera is sitting on. Now, as I explained in my previous video, I think that the video quality on this camera, which is the Camilio H30, sorry, is quite good. It does record in high definition. Sound is absolutely appalling, just for anybody out there that thinks about getting one. Maybe quite handy in a concert if it's very loud, but for doing everyday things it's absolutely terrible. Why they didn't put an external microphone socket on it, I don't know. You do have the HDMI out, which is quite handy, and it's been quite handy for me when making some videos, or these videos should I say. But I won't recommend one to nobody. Stand was quite cheap, metal, strong, plenty of adjustment on it, and it'll do the job. I think when the new camera arrives, I think you'll see a much better quality video on YouTube from myself, and maybe things will start looking up. Right guys, analog meter. As far as I'm concerned, you can't get through life repairing old equipment, retro equipment, and in some cases even modern equipment without the use of an analog meter. Now, Andy's YouTube channel, the vintage retro repairs channel, been talking about analog meters, primarily the Avo. I wish I could get my hands on an Avo meter. They are still quite expensive. I used to use one when I was doing my apprenticeship back in the late 80s. just sometimes the digital multimeter won't do it. You've got a number jumping around on you, you've got a supply that's varying all over the place. 9 times out of 10 it's not varying at all. It's just that it's not been loaded down sufficient enough. The analog meter will give you a more accurate reading of the constant supply of that device altogether. Okay, just over this side. Solid sucker, ZD915. Can't complain. I have had this unit in the very first weeks of using it pack up on me. It do have a tendency to block up. If you're lucky and it blocks up near the top or the bottom of the iron itself, it's usually quite easy to clear with the stick that they give you to push down inside. If it's halfway down, it can cause you problems, and that's what happened to me last time. It just wouldn't clear. Why it jams up there I don't know, but it got to the point where I was worried about damaging the actual element. I gave up, bought a new item, stripped the other one down for spares, and now that's stuck in a drawer waiting to see if anything else happens to this one. Another power supply, what we just saw, exactly the same up the top, the 1503D, more of a use for charging batteries, low current supplies. Like I say, it is handy. You can switch between the 3 amp, the 2 amp, and the 0. I think it's 0.3 amp maybe. You can current limit it. It's got quite a confusing meter on it. It's not straightforward to use just by somebody looking at the device. It does have a manual, although it is mostly in Chinese and doesn't really tell you a lot. Bad spelling, bad description, bad everything else that comes with it. Okay, just as we go back over this end, just to give you a bit of a look better at the oscilloscope that I picked up, it is the Super 10 Calscope. Give you more information in the description below. It is dual beam. It does more than I need it to do, because most of my equipment that I repair is pretty low frequency. I don't need nothing super expensive. I'm quite happy with it. No doubt in the future that I will upgrade it, go for more of a digital one that can hold the trace for me, etc, etc, but at the moment it's fine. I've got a couple of amplifiers in for repair. It's absolutely perfect for reading waveforms, etc, etc. It's fine. I won't be changing it just yet. Like I say, maybe in the future. I think at this point we'll stop the video, and then we'll go through the rest of some of the stuff that I've got in here in the second part. Don't want to bore you to death. Just trying out this camera yet again, trying to get more videos up on YouTube, trying to get better quality. At the moment I understand I am holding the camera in my hand. I am standing right next to the camera, so the sound audio should be okay. But I'll go and have a look at it, and let's go and have a look, see what it looks like on the old computer. Catch you in part 2, thank you.